The film begins when Christine wakes up to find a man lying next to her. She doesn't remember anything and doesn't know who he is. When she goes into the bathroom, she finds photos of herself with the same man, all indicating that he is her husband. When she comes out, she asks him, "Who are you?" He tells her that he is her husband, Ben, whom she married 14 years ago, and that she is now 40 years old. He explains that she suffered an accident that caused her to lose her memory every time she goes to sleep, so she wakes up each morning believing she is still in her 20s, without remembering anything. Ben repeats this explanation to her every single day. He then shows her where everything is in the house, leaves for work, and she is left alone. The phone rings, and when she answers, the caller introduces himself as Dr. Nash, her physician. He asks her to go to her closet and retrieve the camera she has hidden there, where she records her daily life to watch the next day. Just as Ben reminds her of her life every day, Dr. Nash also reintroduces himself daily and asks her to record her day on the camera. We then flash back to 2 weeks earlier to learn how she first met Dr. Nash. He used to pick her up from home and take her to his clinic. He told her that he learned about her through a colleague and that he was conducting a study on psychological memory loss, so he offered to treat her for free. She agreed and gave him the numbers she had written in her notebook. But when she told Ben she wanted to try advanced treatment, he refused. Dr. Nash then gave her the camera, saying, "At the very least, record what happens to you every day, regardless of what happened before the accident." Christine was surprised and asked, "Accident?" He explained that 10 years earlier she was found in an industrial area, barely alive, after repeated blows to her head, and showed her the medical report. She asked him, "Who tried to kill me?" He replied, "You're the only one who knows that." He instructed her not to tell Ben about the camera so she could record freely, telling her to hide it in the closet under the shoebox, and promising to call her every day to remind her. From then on, she did exactly that, recording what she learned about herself each day and the condition she woke up with every morning. Dr. Nash later decided to take Christine to meet the man who found her after the incident, hoping it would trigger her memory, but she remembered nothing. The man told her she had been naked, covered only by a sheet. Shocked, she noticed the place was near the airport and asked, "What was I doing here?" He replied, "This area is full of hotels." She asked, "Why would I stay in a hotel when I live here?" He told her that the accident report suggested she had been involved with someone, but they never found out who. Christine protested, "I don't feel like I could have been an unfaithful wife." Dr. Nash then showed her some photos from her file, hoping they would help her remember. She focused on one picture and noticed the name, Clare, written on the back. She asked Ben, "Did I have a friend named Clare?" He told her that Clare had traveled away and stopped contacting her. But Christine felt that he was hiding something and keeping her from her friend. She placed Claire's photo among the pictures in the bathroom, and secretly recorded herself saying, "I must not trust Ben." When Ben later saw the photo of Clare, he removed it. The next day, when Christine woke up and Dr. Nash reminded her about the camera, she watched the previous day's recording and noticed Claire's photo in the video, but it was missing in the present. She realized that Ben had taken it away, which further shook her trust in him. Determined to find anything to restore her memory, she discovered more photos of Clare. Looking at them triggered a memory of Clare telling her in the bathroom, "I'm pregnant." She then searched for pictures Ben had kept of her supposed child but found none. Looking at her own body, she noticed signs of pregnancy. Suddenly, she remembered the sound of a child calling her with a familiar phrase. Angry, she confronted Ben, "Do I have a son? Why are you hiding him from me?" He calmed her down and explained that their son, Adam, had been sick and died at the age of 8. Shocked and devastated, she collapsed. Ben brought her a box of Adam's belongings and photos. Christine recorded the story of her son on video so she wouldn't forget. But from time to time, fragmented memories returned, being dragged across the ground, being with a man who had a scar on his face. Yet she couldn't recall clearly, until one memory came, leaving a hotel room, seeing a child, calling out, "Adam?" Then she found a piece of paper with "Mommy" written on one side and "Mike" on the other. She rushed to tell Dr. Nash that the person who attacked her might be named Mike. The next day, Dr. Nash calls Christine again, reintroduces himself, and asks her to meet him because he has something to tell her about her husband, Ben. When they meet, he tells her that he somehow managed to get her friend Claire's phone number, and after speaking with her, he learned that Ben had actually divorced Christine 4 years earlier. He gives Christine the number, and she leaves Clare a voicemail. Then she confronts Ben, asking, "Why did you divorce me?" He explains that she was in a difficult mental state because of her grief over Adam, but that he eventually came back to her. Later, Christine and Clare meet, and Christine tells her, "I remember you." She asks if Clare knows anything about her having an affair with another man. Clare replies, "I suspected it, and after pressing you many times, you admitted it." Christine asks, "Do you know who he was?" Clare answers, "No, I don't know anything about him." Christine then asks, "Why didn't Ben ever talk to me about you?" To her surprise, Clare replies, "He couldn't talk to you about me, because during your illness, while I was constantly taking care of Adam, something happened between me and him. It was a mistake, only once, and I've regretted it ever since. That's why I stayed away." Christine is furious and tries to leave, but before she goes, Clare gives her a letter Ben had left for her after the divorce, saying, "Give it to her when she gets better." Christine reads the letter and feels how exhausted Ben had been during her illness, how much he suffered from her forgetting him and Adam, and how he couldn't endure it anymore and walked away. She immediately records a video, saying how kind Ben is, how much he stood by her, and how her life would be meaningless without him. When Ben comes home, she shows him the camera, tells him about Dr. Nash, and confesses how much she loves him. But instead of responding with affection, he strikes her and leaves. Christine records what happened and asks Clare to call him. The shocking truth comes when Clare calls Christine back and tells her she spoke with Ben, who said he hadn't seen Christine in 4 years. Clare then asks Christine to describe Ben. Christine says, "He's tall." Clare answers, "Yes." Christine asks, "Black hair?" Clare says, "No, brown." Then Christine asks, "Does he have a scar on his face?" At that moment, Christine remembers the scarred man from her fragmented memories. Clare confirms, "Yes, he was in an accident and has a scar on his face." Christine replies, "No." Clare then says, "Then the man with you isn't Ben." Meanwhile, the man who had claimed to be Ben returns. Christine goes out but doesn't find him, until he suddenly strikes her on the head and she loses consciousness. When she wakes up, her memory resets again. Dr. Nash calls her and tells her to watch the last video she recorded, in which she had said that Ben is a good man and that life is meaningless without him. The impostor speaks to her again, and naturally, she has forgotten the previous night. He tells her, "Get ready, today we'll celebrate our anniversary." He had already taken her phone, which Clare had called 17 times, but he never answered. He then goes to Dr. Nash and warns him to stay away from his wife. That night, he takes her to a hotel to celebrate their anniversary, and says, "I want to remind you." Christine suddenly remembers, this man is Mike, the one she had been having an affair with. She asks him, "Where is Ben?" He replies, "Ben left you. I'm the one who stayed." She asks, "How did you get me out of the hospital?" He answers, "With forged papers. I still love you. I wanted to tell you the truth, but your condition didn't allow it. I'm tired of lying now." Christine then recalls the day of the incident, when she told him, "I can't go on like this." He tried to call Ben to tell him, but she stopped him. Furious, he struck her with the phone and continued hitting her on the head, causing her memory loss. He then deletes everything from her camera, wanting her to remain with him. He says, "Forget Ben, he forgot you. Forget Adam, he forgot you too." But when she discovers that her son is still alive, she breaks down. He attacks her again, but she fights back, hitting him on the head with an iron, then escapes with the camera, having recorded everything. The next day, Dr. Nash visits her in the hospital. Once again, he tries to introduce himself and explain her condition, but she doesn't remember anything that happened. However, he tells her that the man who did this to her has been arrested, and that her friend Clare is coming to take her home. He describes Clare to her, and Christine feels a flicker of hope that her memory might return. Dr. Nash also tells her that she had been married to Ben, and says, "He came to see you." The real Ben enters and says, "If I had known you were in danger, I would never have left you." But she doesn't remember him either. Then Adam, her son, enters. Overwhelmed, Christine recalls the question he used to ask her every morning, and her reply to it. Adam is overjoyed that his mother remembers him, and Christine embraces him. The film ends with this moment of reunion. If you enjoyed the film, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so you can get all the latest updates.